So this is how the final high poly model is looking like. And there were a few things that I had to redo or just adjust. But I'll go quickly through all the tools that I went through. So the slide is pretty much the same, like no edits on that one. So this process is quite useful because you have to go through all of your subtools again and double check every part collapsed, and it's quite useful. You can see any errors there, and like double checking is always like a good thing because these are quite complex parts and something can like be wrong. So basically, like the slide and the frame part, the only thing I did is just moved this cutout and this cutout slightly forward. I selected those together and moved them forward. It's the thing, you can do this during like when you are decimated. You just select the needed area and just move it. There's no problem in that because this is more accurate to the reference. So the frame is pretty much like straightforward, nothing too special. You can see that the beveling is a bit softer than on the metal slide, and as I mentioned before, I did it on purpose. So you can see this bevel, it's really soft around here, but you can still, like from this distance, you can read it. You can see that there's a bevel, and it's quite readable even on this level of softening. So another thing I had is the barrel. Somehow this distance was wrong, was off. It was not adjusted to this, so I had to re-dynamesh this barrel with this cutout fitting this thing, this chamber indicator. So the round is okay. Right, the magazine, I had to redo this part over here. As you can see, like the walls of the magazine, they're really thin, and this is like extremely like the lowest point of thickness you can go with like 3D object when you are going to bake this, because so you have to make sure that all of those parts are looking nice. And I think there will be another pass on like doing test bakes of this part, so that I will make sure that this like this wall over here, this thick part, will be looking good, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay. So the thing I did here is the angle of this top part was too sharp, and it was not the best case for baking, so I just like changed the this cutting tool. As you can see right there, these things were like narrower, and I can show you. Basically this was like this, and you can see it creates like really sharp angle over here, so I made this like 90 degrees, somewhat 90 degrees, right? So that's the thing. Okay, so here I had some couple adjustments as well. I did this part as well. The thickness of this part, I increased it because it was not looking too good when the walls were too thin. And this pattern, when I started to dynamesh and smooth this object, this middle section of the pattern started to be too blurry comparing to the guys on the sides, so I had to move out that pattern just a bit, and now it looks good. The next thing, here's how everything is okay. Right, the bolt, the buttons, plate, this part, Okay, let me just double check everything here. Yeah, everything. Yeah, also I had some thing over here, as you can see. This part had like a bulge at the end, and so just cut it off and moved this thing out. Nothing too special. And also trigger was the same, like the trigger and the safety of the trigger were combined into one object because I did not separate them with the like this arrow over here, and they like were collapsed into one object, so I had to recompute those, like separating them with this arrow thing, and now it looks good. So basically this is it. This is our complete high poly model, polished and like completed. We can go straight forward to Maya now using this high poly model and doing low poly on base of this. So let's go to the next step. So, okay guys, this is a message from the future, because when I did the low poly and the bake, I saw that one thing was missing, and basically it's this cutout. I had none of that, and when you move your slide backwards like this, there will be this ugly face that goes through this part. Now with this cutout over here, it looks proper. So further, when you'll be watching the low poly and bake part, this thing will be missing. But please do consider this thing, and when you're going to do the low poly, do the same thing here, just the same way as you do it alongside with me. But you will see this thing only on texturing, because it was stupid of me to forget this thing, but I need to do things properly. So such things can happen, and you should be able to do some edits even at the stage of texturing. So don't forget about this thing on low poly and unwrapping, and you will see this thing back again at the texturing process. And in addition to that, I've also updated the cartridge. You can see the primer is now looks better, because the primer has a smaller diameter, which is more accurate. It was too wide, so don't forget to change this thing as well.